we noticed a gap, in the industry whenever we first started it, and we ended up working hard on filling those gaps and creating a service that would relieve agents' headaches.
Okay. Welcome to Crowning Connections. This is Rob Clemens, and I've got a big show on today. I do have to say it is International Pumpkin Day, so we're gonna circle around on that today, because if anybody is interested in pumpkins or pumpkin-related things, I am definitely gonna have to talk about this. And with my special guest today, Elizabeth and Justin Ferraro, like Ferrari, right?
Yeah, just like Ferrari.
Just like Ferrari.
Yep.
Are you guys? Are you part of that family? And you just had to change the O at the end so people won't get on to you and try to take all your money?
We did, but we still choose to live in the fast lane.
All right. Okay. Perfect. I like it. So anyway, we have these guys with us. They're from Rivertown Property Inspections, and you guys have been in the community for a long time. So I'm definitely looking forward to having you on today. Do you guys have any pumpkin-related knowledge or trivia we can throw in
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Pumpkin season is my favorite. So I'm very excited to share with you because I also have a Cinderella Christmas tree.
Oh.
I have a Christmas tree problem too. But Starbucks this year has come out with a Cinderella latte. I don't think they're advertising it like nationally, but when you go to the kiosks, they've been on the little chalkboard signs. It is a white chocolate pumpkin latte.
Holy cow.
And it's amazing.
Is this one of those things where, like Starbucks likes to tease us, and then you go in one day, you're finally hooked on it, and then you go in and they're like, oh yeah, we're out of whatever this thing is that makes it so good. Yeah.
It's limited edition.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you're like, Starbucks, don't do that to me. Yeah, don't get me hooked and then pull it off.
Yeah, it's a bait hook situation.
Yeah, right. Yeah, absolutely. Well, so you're a big pumpkin person. Do you guys have like a little pumpkin patch in your backyard? I mean, how far does this pumpkin love go?
I don't necessarily like the looks of them. I just like to cook with pumpkin. Yeah.
Okay,
so
gotcha.
We have pumpkin muffins and pumpkin butter.
Oh, wow.
We have currently a pecan pumpkin butter to go with our crescent rolls for breakfast.
Wow, I didn't realize there were so many variations of pumpkin butters. I mean, it's like...
I don't realize it until I sit down at breakfast and she pulls them all out.
and then you're like, good morning, honey. Which pumpkin-related thing would you like to eat?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Right, okay, I got you. Pumpkin pie? Is that like too basic at this point?
Yeah, I prefer more like the breads and the butters. But I mean, a pumpkin pie, I'll eat that.
So if you're, and I know you've already said this is not an aesthetics thing, but is making a jack-o'-lantern, is that like hurtful to you because you just realize that beautiful pumpkin is being mangled?
No, we got kids at home.
Okay, all right. No, so this is a great time, right?
That's perfect.
Well, I will share with you guys, if you get hungry during this podcast here, there is all kinds of special details. If you would like to make a pumpkin pumpkin, this is what this is for. So anyway, my marketing team spares no expense. That's what happened there. Anyway, when you guys are, we have Halloween coming up soon, right? When it comes to Halloween, you guys are taking your kids out trick-or-treating. I'm going to say, how old are they?
We got 3, 7, and 17.
Okay, well, 17, maybe a little too old to trick-or-treat? Is that like a little, yeah?
Yeah.
But then you got one right in the sweet spot. What is their go-to candy? You remember when it's Halloween and you're going down and they give you like some butterscotch and you're like, oh, come on, man. Like, I'm looking for X. What is that thing?
I would say, what is their not go-to candy?
Okay, yeah, tell me the
especially the 3-year-old. She wakes up every morning hungry. It's the first thing out of her mouth.
Yeah.
So she'll actually eat anything, whereas our 7-year-old is a little bit more particular.
He's looking, and so like, let's say it's Milk Duds. I throw a Milk Dud in front of us. He like, we did good today?
No. For our girls, it's definitely going to be Reese's. And unfortunately, that's mine as well.
Oh,
so
no.
then I have to share. And when they get like the big ones, right? That's the big deal. When you go trick-or-treating now, like you see all the little ones, right?
Yeah.
But it's we live in a primarily older community, which is really nice because they go to like Costco and they get like the Costco size, candy bars. So it's when you're digging out and they've gotten like the whole pack of the Reese's and they're like, Mom, I made it. And there was a $10 bill attached to the top of it.
A $10 bill? Seriously?
Yeah.
Man,
there's sometimes,
I don't know if I was trick-or-treating in the wrong places as a child, but that never happened to me ever.
Yeah.
Like, in fact, if you're watching the show later, write in if you've ever gotten a $10 bill from a trick-or-treating expedition.
Right.
Man, this is crazy.
I never got one.
I was about to say.
Well, we don't get them either. Now I'm like, well, how about you keep the $10 and Mom will take the Reese's.
Right. Okay. Yeah. There you go. Well, that's a fair trade. Yeah. Wait, where are you guys trick or treating? The Grand Dunes or something? Like, where are they giving away $10? I want to know.
I would say Legends.
Yeah,
right?
Legends. That's where we live.
Because guys, I'm not a tall guy. I might still be able to pull off.
Exactly.
Just in the right position. Like I'm a little kid going around getting. My voice might be a little deep. But anyway, we'll figure it out. All right, enough with my riffing on Halloween for a while. We could probably talk about this for a while. I would imagine. So, but let's talk about you guys. You've been in this community for a long time. You got a successful business. You do a lot of things in giving back. Tell me a little bit about how you founded the company and just take us back from the start. How'd you get here?
So founding the company, I actually had a home inspector do a home inspection on my house, and he was asking me questions.
Well, that's a good start.
Yeah, I decided, I was like, well, I could do this.
Yeah.
And 3 years later, well, actually prior to those 3 years, we started a home inspection company and a construction company. Mm-hmm. She was a nurse in the surgical intensive care unit, and I begged and pleaded for her to quit her job and come join us because it was just too much for me to handle. Mm-hmm. She did.
I did.
She can fluff it up a lot better than I can.
Yeah, I feel like you're skipping a couple of steps for me.
Right. So as the company continued to grow, so home inspections, it became the opportunity, of wow, I think this is something that, he could do. And thankfully, with the good work that we were doing, the answering the phones, returning phone calls on the right time.
Stick to the basics, right?
Yes. And those things that are so crucial in business, to do exactly what you say you're going to do and show up when you say you're going to show up. The company did quickly grow. And accidentally, we got into renovations at that time. And grew that to where we were doing 40 to 60 renovations a year.
Yeah, that's good.
With the home inspections. Thankfully, especially in this market, we've left construction and now focus solely on home inspections.
Did you just say thankfully in this market? Tell me what that means,
Well, we all know that, the last couple of years have been tumultuous. And so getting supplies and materials and people's even just energy has been intense. Mm-hmm. And so I'm thankful that we're not facing that through construction. So I worked in the trauma surgical ICU and loved what I did. I am a nurse. I don't think you ever leave that, in a heartbeat. If you had an ailment, I'm pretty sure I could give you some sort of remedy or some sort of diagnosis or assessment in that. But, really wanted the flexibility with work, with kids, with young children, and loved what we were doing. So he continued to ask me to join RPI. And so I did. I joined 7 years ago. And from there on, it's just been full steam ahead. To really, just be chasing the dreams and envisioning something better. Our tagline at the company is to, raising the standards for home inspections in Myrtle Beach and surrounding areas, because we believe that, the home is one of the most expensive investments you'll ever make in your life. And you need somebody to be going through and just setting you up for success. Right? Here's what's going on in your home. Here's some things that you might have some concerns. You need to get a roofer out here to look at this to see how you fix these deficiencies.
I like what you did there. That. She just threw in a total roofer reference, like that, man. I can tell she's got some marketing background here too.
I am a preacher's kid.
Oh no way! All right, now shout out to preacher's kids. I am also a preacher's kid.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's. I grew up and but he was like one of those cool preachers, telling you about stuff. Like he wouldn't just go into Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. He's gonna pull out a Bible and a chapter you haven't read before,
I love that.
and he's gonna break into that. So that's cool.
And my dad's a minister here.
Oh no way! Okay, cool. Yeah. Should we shout out his church right now?
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
Myrtle Beach Christian Church. So just right up the road from you guys. They've been here for over 40 years, and my dad's been here the whole time.
Wow.
So that's where we actually attend as well as a family, and it's so fun to see my kids growing up in the same church that I grew up in and all the opportunities. So we love it there.
That's really cool. No, and I want to go back a minute, just so I don't get too far away from the start. You mentioned the genesis of this, right? And you said this home inspector comes over to your house. And he's like, I don't know, what am I looking at over here? I mean, maybe it wasn't that bad, but he's looking and you're kind of having to show him some things. So that means you knew something about construction before this ever started. Like, who taught you how to do this stuff, or tell me about that?
When I was a kid, I actually taught myself. My dad led me in some different directions with construction, but I I think 7, I started building my own skateboards.
Okay.
Because when Tony Hawk was around.
Oh yeah, okay, gotcha.
That was a cool thing to do.
What's Tony Hawk up to nowadays? By the way, is he still skating?
I'm sure he is.
We're gonna have to look this up and talk about it later.
Will.
Yeah, because I mean he's one of those lifers. I can never see Tony Hawk put on a shirt and tie and like being like, "All right, boys, I'm retired, but you got to take." He's a lifer, right?
He may still be making video games.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
Probably less on his body.
right.
So at 12, me and my buddy and my neighbor, we built our own tree house, 2-story tree house, and had no clue what we were doing, and went to Lowe's and asked them for any wood that they weren't able to use or sell, and they gave it to us.
Are you kidding me?
Yep.
Man, you guys have got all the tricks. I mean, I didn't now people are just going to be going to Lowe's, and Lowe's going to be like, you listen to that podcast, didn't you?
Yeah, exactly. Well, this was in the 90s.
Right. Fair enough, right.
So, I spent majority of my life in construction. I was let's see here, assistant director of operations for a restoration company.
Mm-hmm.
Worked for a structural engineering firm as a draftsman. Ran your manufacturing plant that built SIPs, manufactured SIPs.
Oh, yeah.
We'd build the homes out of those walls and ceilings. Majored in construction management, licensed home inspector in North and South Carolina, licensed contractor, lead and asbestos certified with the state. So I've got a few.
Got a couple of notches in the belt there.
Yeah, just a couple.
Yeah. Well, it's cool, and I like the way that you said raising the standards. Like that's your mission, right?
Yep.
Tell me about where you see, the industry at right now, because obviously I think one of the things that happened with Monarch Roofing years ago is that he felt like that there wasn't professionalism in the roofing industry. Mm-hmm. That guy pulls up, and this is a big investment for you, and he's got a dinged up truck and maybe a few hours late to the appointment and things like that. What were you seeing, and kind of how are you raising the standards?
I don't know if we can say this, but rednecks with tool belts.
Yeah, well,
Yep.
There you go. Yeah, we all know what you're talking about. Yeah,
we noticed a gap, in the industry whenever we first started it, and we ended up working hard on filling those gaps and creating a service that would relieve agents' headaches.
Okay.
And that's how we established the company or structured the company after the first 2 years of being in business. And that just really, really made us grow. And then we started adding on extra services.
Well, and that's how I met you originally, Elizabeth. I think you guys have been very involved with CCAR here. Mm-hmm. And so that's been a big part of your strategy.
Absolutely. So I think, traditionally here in the area, home inspection companies were single man companies, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's really hard to wear what we call all the hats, right? You're trying to go out and do the home inspection, you're trying to answer the phone, you're trying to remember your availability, and then not to mention you're having a market too. Agents are primarily where we do get our referrals from, right? Mm-hmm. And so, what Justin saw was, it was going to kill him. He's writing home inspection reports till 2 a.m. in the morning. Wow. You can't sustain at that level. And so we saw these opportunities to grow a team. Mm-hmm. So even for us as a company, we have, our office staff, and they handle the phone calls. We have a backup call center if they happen to be busy, because you know how it is. The phone won't ring at all, and then all of a sudden it's ringing, nonstop, back to back to back. So we want our clients, we want our agents to be able to get to the resources that they can. And then our home inspectors are out in the field doing great home inspections, writing their reports on site, and then answering questions, and that's all they have to focus on. Mm-hmm. And so yes, for us, we knew opening this opportunity up, getting involved in the community, getting involved in the associations would help people to see that we were raising the standard. And I will thankfully and humbly share that RPI is the only home inspection company in the years of the Association of Realtors that has won Affiliate of the Year. And we won that in 2017.
Wow.
So thankfully, because of the involvement that they wanted from us, that they wanted to see the standards continue to be raised, we really jumped in and we're like, hey, let's do that. How do we get involved in the community? How do we help you guys? Mm-hmm. Justin speaks on panels with them, to continue to educate the agents so they can give the best service to their clients as well.
That's really, really cool that you say that. And the thing that I think of when you talk about being involved with the community like you are, I think it's underrated. And I think a lot of the businesses that get into this business, I'll know a good business from a not good business. Sometimes when I ask, why did you start in the first place? And, I hear a lot of people, well, I was just good at roofing, so I decided to do roofing, or I was good at this. And it's like every time you take an internal focus on why you started your business, you're already off on the wrong track. You said, you saw that you could answer the questions better than the inspector was. And so you saw a gap in service there that people could use. And I think it's really important that you guys are thinking like that. So let's go to the community aspect. Let's talk about some of the things you guys have done over recent years that you're proud of. I want to talk a little Thomas Blackwell if you can, and how you guys got hooked up in the first place. But kind of open it up. Tell us what you've been doing.
You want me to tell about the community stuff?
Go ahead.
Cool. So community stuff, community is my passion. People are my passion. I was a nurse and loved that because of what I got to do to make a difference in people's lives. And so for us, our core values at RPI are impact. And we believe it is our gift that we get to impact somebody through their home buying process to better Myrtle Beach. And so in that, we get to be involved. I do serve on the Community Outreach Advisory Group. Yeah. That's a big one. That's a big bucket filler for me where I get to do blood drives. That's, of course, extremely important.
Let me go ahead and emphasize, I get to do blood drives. Such a nurse. That's awesome.
I love it. Now, I believe that it is our responsibility as business owners, as a team here in Myrtle Beach, that we give back to our community. So when there's been hurricanes, we've been out in the field helping get crates from Lowe's so people could raise their equipment at their property because it was going to flood, those kind of things. That is our gift, is that we get to give back to our community, that our team gets to give back. We do an RPI Christmas family, so we adopt a family that all of our team members get to bring in stuff, and we present it. Last year we put the bikes together, and the family got to come, and what a joy that if it were just Justin and I, there'd be only so much of a network or so much of a circle that we could touch, right? But when we're doing it as a team and we're getting in and we're partnering with great people like you guys and with all the real estate companies that we get to and other vendors, then our ripple just continues to spread and make the good or the greater good for all, right? Mm-hmm. One of the great things that we get to do that we're really thankful for is in October, every portion of a home inspection we do donate to Caring in Our Lifetime. It is a local breast cancer foundation. And this is very important to Justin and I myself. We both have breast cancer survivors in our family. That made this a passion to ours. We understand the need for preventative care with that, and Caring in Our Lifetime is right here in Myrtle Beach. They're helping our people, and so that's an opportunity that we just get to continue to give on.
And let me ask you about them real quick. So the money that you donate, does it go to research, or is it helping people that currently have it just with things in their life that they need some extra funding for? Kind of give us an idea of how that money will be used, because I can tell you, I think we might want to make a contribution here at Monarch. So give me a little plug.
Sure. I know that they would love that. Mm-hmm. So my understanding is that they are helping people who are journeying through breast cancer currently, and then also post breast cancer, because it's not just once you have cancer, there's then follow-up appointments, all of the things that you have to do to stay on top to make sure that the cancer has not returned. Mm-hmm. So they're helping through that journey, and that coming from us, even knowing personal people who have been through it, from my nursing aspect life, we know how important and we know how stressful that time is. And to me, it's so much more so than just let me give you a donation, right? It's let me help you walk through this journey. How do we help you with caregiver stress? Those things that are just as important for the family members around that. So they're partnering through that time. A lot of our local people in the area just have a passion for that board. And, it was really easy to catch the bite of the passion and share it on.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's an amazing cause, and definitely glad you could plug that today, because, I think that one of my goals with this show, and I love that you talk like this, is it's called Crowning Connections for a reason. We're trying to connect the community. We're trying to connect the business back to the people, and we want to humanize the person behind the business. And this is what it's all about. Mm-hmm. When you talk about what really is in the heart, what drives you to be who you are. So love that. And tell me a little bit about another guy. And I don't know which one of you guys want to tell me, but Thomas Blackwell. So here's another thing that happened. I've known you guys for a while, and like I said, we met originally at the Coastal Carolina Association of Realtors outreach group, and you and I met probably through the same event. But then you guys threw this event, 2 years ago, and you bring in a guy named Thomas Blackwell. And he really, he's a great speaker, has a great story. Tell me a little bit about how that relationship got created and what it's meant to you guys.
We saw Thomas at a mastermind event that we were at. I think we were in Texas or something like that. We travel all over the country, so I would guess Texas.
Yeah.
But we were just in awe whenever he was on stage and he was presenting, and he just the power of positivity. I mean, we try very hard to be positive people. And she's better at it than I am. But
I can tell.
Yeah,
it's the preacher's kid side of her.
She wakes up in the morning singing.
Right.
I do.
A little bit like Snow White or something like that. Is that?
Yeah, a little. I sing to our kids every morning. I sing them good morning.
Oh, do you really?
I do. It's from Singing in the Rain.
Oh, that's pretty cool. My mom did not sing to me when I was growing up. She did yell at me sometimes, though.
Yeah. I got a glass of water poured on me to get out of bed.
Well, and I don't necessarily do it every morning. I'm not a morning person, and my children inherited that naturally.
Oh, so.
And so I try to help soften the blow of it's morning. You've got to wake up.
Oh, I got you.
So Thomas Blackwell, at these events, we were very impressed with his energy. He writes a book, The Liberty of Our Language Revealed. And even coming from a positive person, right, thinking that you're positive, it truly did change just the understanding of the value that the words that we speak is truly what we're speaking into our own life, into our environment, into our team members, right, as we're leaders, in our company and in our community. And just the power of that. And we knew that knowledge was not something that we could just keep to ourselves. We had to be willing to share it with others. So we hosted events. We give away his book all the time. We were just at a presentation this morning, and that's what we gave away to thank the agents for showing up.
Nice.
Was a drawing for his book. And if I can encourage anyone, if you've never read a book before, that's okay. Go listen on Audible. Thomas himself is actually reading the book.
Wow.
But it is well worth taking the time to learn how your language is really dictating everything around you. And you are bringing that energy in from what you're speaking about. So even to say, how's your day going? Oh, it's going okay. No, I'm having a fantastic day. Even just that change, how people receive you is significantly impressive.
This is true. After I heard that, I bought copies of his books for all of my managers. I don't know if you guys remember that, or you may not even see that, but I did. Yeah, and he signed them and he personalized them. I thought that was nice. And so then I did this multi-part series, and we did every Friday. I brought in my managers, and we talked a little bit about a part of the book. And I really went start to finish, and I told them, guys, I hope you'll read it. But like you said, some people aren't readers. And I was like, but I think it'll help you if you do. So we went through, and at the end of his chapters, he does something about questions, and there'll be like little things. So I said, these are going to be your assignments. I said, even if you don't read the book, because I'm going to go over it next week, I said I want you to be ready to answer these questions. And I promise you this, when this series was over, I had people coming up to me behind the scenes, and they were like, please do this again. I finally feel like for the first time I know the other managers in this room, and I truly understand them.
That's awesome.
It was really cool. And I didn't even, and it's funny, I didn't actually expect that to happen. I just thought, hey, I love the book. I want to talk about it. And I could recommend anybody that gets a chance if he's coming back. Are you guys going to have him back again sometime in the future?
We've discussed it. We've had him out twice.
Yeah,
Every time we do, it's just an incredible event.
I'd recommend anybody that you guys do that again, that they come check it out. Definitely. And buy the book, of course.
Yeah.
It was good for us. We took him out golfing because we both golf, and so it was really great to see how you apply this to your golf game, because we know that that's a love-hate relationship.
Yeah.
And, so that was it was kind of neat, to see him in action with what he even is, giving in his presentations.
I've got to ask you, Elizabeth. So would he hit just like a shot, like a mile into the woods and be like, there's a great opportunity for improvement? Would he do that?
No, and yes, he really would. And he would go, and you could hear his tone change. I will say that, but he'd go, I love this game. I love this game. And I was like, okay, I'm going to practice this. I love this game. And then, let the other choice words that you choose to express on the golf course go. I'm not going to tell you I'm down, in my handicap, because I don't even have one of those. Right. But definitely the value of the game and the enjoyment that we sought from it did change. And it was just neat to kind of see in person.
It's cool to see. And I will say this, after I did a podcast with him as well. And, I will say that it's a little stressful talking to him. And here's why. No, and I don't mean in the way you think. He's an awesome guy. But he will nail you if you use some negativity.
Oh, yeah.
And we don't even realize we're doing it.
Right.
There was one point where I was complimenting his book. I was literally complimenting. I was like, hey, I love the way that you always talk about a failure and how you came back from it. And it was like a high praise. Because even during his speeches, and anybody who ever gets to hear him, he'll start off talking about some opportunity for improvement, and then how he came back and became stronger from it. And so I said, your failures, and then you talk about, and he goes, well, Rob, I don't like to use the word failures. I'm like, oh no, I just messed up in Rob Blackwell. It didn't even take me long, you know?
Right, and that's what we actually call it. We're like, oh, we just got Blackwelled.
Yeah.
We've like turned it into the verb of it.
I was about to say, you made like an actual descriptor out of his name. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's definitely been, I can tell on a personal level, he's made a big drastic change in my life on how I think of things. And I want to give a plug. Another charity event that we do is Project Golf, and I'd like to spend more time with that, but I'm working towards that. Okay. But I'm a veteran. I received we're in Baghdad 2003. Wow. Received a Purple Heart Army Commendation.
Wow, you a Purple Heart.
Yep.
Wow.
So I had a tendency of being a little gruff around the edges, at times. And Thomas Blackwell, when I saw him at that first event, I had to buy his book. I had to buy the Audible. And that was a huge game changer because veterans, have a tendency of being a little down on themselves or a little dark at times. Mm-hmm. And that book, and especially having a wife that, reminds you all the time that you got to be positive. But it really just gave you a whole different outlook in life and about how you think and the decisions that you make and how you, treat others, right. What kind of effect you're making on those other people. So if you haven't, I know, Rob, you have, Elizabeth, you have, but anybody who's listening, if y'all get a chance to check out Thomas Blackwell, highly recommend it, especially for veterans.
That's awesome. Okay.
I love Red Hot Chili Peppers.
And your kids wake up in the morning and they're like, what is this, Mom?
It's give it away.
And for me, what I found in nursing and in anything in life when you're singing, because there were definitely things that you would be doing that would be awkward. Yeah. And not so much for me, they were at times, but more so for the patient or for the person in front of me. Yeah. And so it helps kind of drop that ease. And I really just like Christmas music, and I will sing Christmas music. We walked into Costco the other night and they had the Advent wine calendars out, and so I just start singing It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year.
Oh, perfect.
It is. And so for me, that became the passion. And I think that's what Justin I had to realize when he was asking me to leave the hospital setting, because while it was a passion of mine, it was very time consuming, especially with children, with young children. It was that people could still be my passion. And so that's what we tell our home inspectors. I tell them, we are changing Myrtle Beach one home inspection at a time. And if you don't believe that, then you don't have a seat on our team.
Oh, so cool. I love that conviction right there. All right, so let's go into a little quick question and answer stuff. I want to kind of get to know you guys a little bit, or the audience to know you guys a little bit. Yeah. So who is, for both of you, do you have somebody in your life that you say that you emulated to be, or that just inspires you, just one person? I think you're going to have to go first, Elizabeth, because I can tell he's internally processing.
Yeah, it's my mom.
Yeah?
Yeah, my mom's a retired principal. When I was in high school, I went to a private school at my dad's church, and I only went to school 4 days. So on the 5th day, on Friday, I would go to my mom's school, and I would do all of her administrative, I'd help teachers make copies and all of this stuff. And I think you really got to see a passion-driven leadership. She was very passionate about educating children. She served as in education for 32 years. You could feel that. She would do the things that weren't part of her job description. Like taking kids out and letting them being principal for the day and taking them to tea because they came from a broken family and never would have known what going to tea with your mother looked like. And, some of those things. And so I think being very passionate about people came from being her. And she's one of the salt of earth women. And if I could be just a fraction of who she is, I'm doing well.
That's awesome. All right, Justin, you had some minute to think about it, and you can't say her mom either. You cannot. You have to pick somebody else.
It's not a bad choice.
It would be a great choice.
I'm gonna need another minute now. Now, we were part of a mastermind group, and I had a couple coaches, that business coaches that I mentored. I had I guess I would say, I grew up a little bit later in life because I was having such a good time and younger in life. So what that actually has taught me, though, is to be a mentor and a coach to our kids and some of the people around us that are a little bit younger, and focus more on a younger age for them.
Okay. So talk about focusing on a younger age. Like how young are you?
Well, like our son's 17.
Yeah. Okay.
So instead of being so focused in the business, when we first started, I was working 100 hours a week. And, I realized that, I got a teenager. Got to start focusing on coaching him and being a mentor at a younger age, because by the time they're 16, 17, 15, we don't know anything. So I wanted to make sure I made that time. And, my parents worked a lot whenever I was younger, so I didn't really have that.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. And
great parents.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But,
but mom and dad are working, and absolutely. What you guys have any favorite book that you're reading other than Liberty of Our Language Revealed?
Traction is a great book.
Okay,
that is that's been a big game changer. Outside of Thomas Blackwell's, of course.
Yeah,
but for our business.
Okay. Is this the kind of book that is it like business leadership or?
Yeah. It is.
You can implement it into any company, any industry.
Okay, got you. So, how about you, Elizabeth?
Well, I mean, if you want to get down to the roots of it, my favorite book is Pride and Prejudice.
Oh.
For fiction.
Yeah.
And that's why we have a daughter named Emma after Jane Austen.
Oh, very nice, very nice.
But for me, one of the books that really changed it was so easy to read was Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy.
Okay.
And it was all about, and I didn't consider myself a procrastinator, so I didn't read it for the longest time until somebody just was like, you need this book. And I was like, okay, you say so, I'm going to listen. And I was so thankful that I did, because it teaches you how to handle situations, even things that we tend to procrastinate on things because we're fearful of it. And so it helped me even just kind of learn some of those things that I didn't want to call it that to myself, and then did that.
That's awesome.
Favorites.
I had one that I just read a couple days ago that actually had a pretty cool impact the way you think about it. The Coffee Bean.
The Coffee Bean, okay.
It's 25 minutes long on audio, so I absolutely loved it. Because I got
a good
so
run
many
for
books
you.
I'm going through.
right.
But it's all about the egg, the carrot, and the coffee bean. And are you a carrot where your atmosphere softens you? When you cook carrot, it gets softer.
Yeah, okay.
The egg, you cook the egg, and it gets harder. So the environment around you will make you harder. And I can tell you, being in the military, my atmosphere, my environment made me a harder person. So the coffee bean, you transition that from a bean to a liquid, and you're transitioning from the environment that you get surrounded around. Can you transition into that environment and create a better environment?
Oh, that's awesome.
So that is a really cool book.
That's a good one to hand out to all new employees. You can kind of be like, what are you going to do with that?
I think our next training session, we're just going to take 25 minutes and just play it.
Just play that. Go to Starbucks, get some coffee.
Yep.
And do
The Cinderella.
See what I did there? The Cinderella, to be specific. That's awesome. What's next for Rivertown? What do you guys having coming up?
We have expanded boundaries. We've done things that we've been told that nobody will ever be able to do. We're the first. We did 2,300 inspections last year, and nobody in the history of Myrtle Beach, Horry County, has ever done, I think, over 1,000 inspections.
Wow!
So we've been able to just do things that nobody's going to be trailblazers. Between the services, we're the first ones to offer thermal cameras and a number of different services, and even to this day, some of the services we offer absolutely nobody else offers. So we think outside the box, and we try to be creative, and Elizabeth is an incredible implementer and visionist. Traction, visionist, implementer.
Very good.
And working together and being on the same page, we've been able to do things for RPI that nobody's ever been able to do in our area. Man,
that's really cool. So just continue to grow, create that impact every day. And I love that slogan. I always have something I hear that I'm like, wow, I love that. So you make an impact, and impact with your people, impact with your community, and a great value system to have. Well, you guys, it's been amazing having you on the show.
Thank you.
I know I'll see you guys around soon. So this is always a pleasure. But keep doing what you do. Keep inspiring for sure, because I don't know if you realize that the little things you do every day, sometimes you make that little change in somebody's life, you don't even know it. So keep being that. That's an awesome thing.
Thank you for having us.
All right,
Yeah,
absolutely.
thank you.
And this is Rob Clemens. I'm signing out with Crown and Connections. We'll see you guys next time. Make sure to like us on Facebook and everywhere else. All right, bye-bye.